The most effective people at work aren't working harder than everyone else. They're working smarter inside better systems. Superhuman Go, from the makers of Grammarly, is the AI chat that works inside every tool you already use. Always ready and already aware of what you're working on. It's a teammate whose only job is to help you be better at yours. With Go working with you, you can show off what you do best. See what Superhuman Go can do at superhuman.com. That's superhuman.com.
Welcome to the Black Tax. There's an African proverb that says, "You truly know when you're alive, when you're living amongst lions." I have focused my energy and my talent on intellectual property, regardless if it's copyrights or trademarks, a little dibble and dabble here in patents, but mostly it has been centered around digital music, film, and television. I was looking for a job, and for some odd reason, it has been chasing the wind, trying to get a job at Google or Twitter or Facebook or any of these internet digital companies. I don't know why. I don't understand. It's not like I don't have the experience or the credentials with the experience, but I digress. So there was a small internet app company that I had seen on Indeed and I applied for and didn't think much of it. And the individual sent me a message. It was like, "Hey, I would love to meet with you to talk about the position." And I was like, okay. I got a little excited, like, wow, this is kind of interesting. So I went to the interview at this small little company on 42nd Street and Lexington. I think it was in the Chrysler building. And I go upstairs and I'm suited and booted, and I have a boot on my foot because I've torn my Achilles. And so I'm in a suit and a tie, as I would with any interview. I walked in. It was a very laid back kind of environment. And he was like, "Oh, you didn't have to wear a suit." He says, "Oh, it was more casual. I should have told you, but you didn't have to wear a suit. It's okay." And I was like, well, it's the first interview. And sometimes first impressions are lasting impressions. And he's like, "Indeed, they are." So we go into his office and we start talking, and he's telling me about his application and what the app does. And there was a game when we were kids, Where's Waldo? And he had started building an app about Where's Waldo. And the app was a kind of a map that allowed you to know where things were, how to get to them, and how to build your own city of things and places you like to go. Concept was great, still a little loose, but it wasn't focused enough to figure out who the audience was going to be. So as we talked about the position and we talked about the duties and what it was and what needs to be done to grow the business of the app, I started giving ideas and concepts, what I think would be a better way to go, what this was, had he trademarked the name yet, had he thought about these other potential applications that could be added to it that then would make the app more tourist driven than locally driven. And he sat back in his chair and he was like, "Oh, that's a different spin." I was like, well, for example, I said to him, people always want to take pictures with the graffiti butterflies that are all over New York City, but most people don't know where they are. So let's say you know where every set of butterflies that have been painted on a wall are, and you put them in the Find Waldo app, and you're like, "Oh, I'm going to be in Chinatown." And you're like, "Oh, there's a set of butterflies here on this street." Then you could walk through the neighborhood, get to where the butterflies are, take your picture, see other attractions in the neighborhood that then brings foot traffic into those small blocks in and around Little Italy and Chinatown that people don't really venture down. He sat up and he's like, "That is a brilliant idea." He then says, To be honest, I think the position that you are applying for is not the position you should have. Ultimately, you should be running this company. You have a better grasp of this than I do, but I can't afford to pay you what you should be paid for the position. And so I was like, well, let's talk about salary. He says, okay, well, this job is only going to pay $35,000 a year. And I was like, okay, what if I take the $35,000 a year, piece of the company, and you give me the staff that I need, 2 or 3 bodies that we can pay hourly to run around New York City and find those butterflies and find those spaces that most people love to go about. The little tiny holes in the wall where the food is so good, you don't care about the ambiance of it because the food is that good, or the butterflies, or the lounge where you can just go and kick it and giggle and have a good time, or a small little shop that sells specialty items. And then we can build a brand identity that is attached to this. He thought about it and he's like, let me think about it. But I like what you're saying. I think we can find a solution where we can work together. And I was like, okay, great. I'm open for that. Shook his hand, said goodbye, got on the bus, took it across 42nd Street and went home. A few days go by and I get a phone call from this particular company. And the gentleman was like, hey, I thought about what you said, but I don't think that that's going to work for me. After I ran the numbers and looked at what potentially could be pitfall for me. And I was like, I understand. And I appreciate you calling me. He says, I would love to be able to continue talking to you, to pick your brain to see how I can further develop this app and get it to a point where I think it might work. And I kind of tilted my head and was like, are we talking about you hiring me as a consultant? He's like, no, I don't want to hire you. I just want to be able to talk to you and, flesh out some of the ideas that I have and then kind of see which way it goes. So you want me to work for you for free is what you're asking. He says, well, it wouldn't really be work. I wouldn't be like calling you every day, but when I did call you, I just would like to kind of talk and throw something at you, get your feedback and see if I'm in the right direction. And I said to him, as flattered as I am about this, I don't think that that's going to work for me. But thank you for the opportunity and I appreciate it. I hope you find someone who fits your needs and that your app becomes a successful product for the market, and have a good day. And I hung up the phone and I was like, this motherfucker. I don't know why, I don't know how, I don't know what it is about me, but when I start talking about what I know, people listen. People pay attention, people sit up, they want to be a part of it, they want to know how I can help them without having to pay me. And oftentimes, white people want me to give them all this free advice and what they can do and how they can do it and how they can improve it, and think I shouldn't be paid for my time or my effort. I can be expensive when I want to be expensive. I can see an opportunity and grow in that opportunity. But what I'm not going to do is help you build something and not get paid for my time or my effort. And then when it goes, you look at me like, thank you for all that you did. I am no one's slave. I am no one's sharecropper. And I am definitely not working for free. We have to decide what is best for us and our talents. And when anybody wants help, and I'm one to give help, but when they constantly keep coming back and back and back for help, ultimately what they're asking is for you to work for them free. They're not trying to pay you for your time because they don't think your time is valuable because of the relationship. They don't think your time is valuable because their perceived perception about you is that, oh, it's not a big deal. I just need a little bit of help. But you're not going to bucket that. You're not going to, look at that way. You're not going to charge me. You're going to, you'll help me out because that's what people do. No, that's not what people do. When you are talking about using my talent to help you grow something, there's a check that goes along with that. There's a time that I have to expend. There's research that I have to do. All that is time consuming. And therefore, it is a job. Therefore, it is payable. I want you to think about your values, your talent, your gifts, the things that you know you can do with your eyes closed and not even bat an eye at problem solving it. And think about what that cost is. If that's what you're doing now in the job you are, think about what you make, figure out what you make a year, what that breaks down to the hourly rate, then times that rate by 2, if not 3 or 4, and that becomes your freelance rate. Don't work for people who are not working for you if there's nothing mutual in it for you. If people want to use your time, make sure they pay for your time, because that is a value extended, and that value should be respected. Stay woke. We out.